ceremonies, Nathan Cassar.
Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Justice Plans Wedding and Podcast TV show. Now, I'm your host, as always, Nathan Cassar, and today we are diving into the art of wedding photography and videography with one of the most passionate and talented teams in the industry. Joining us today is Chuck-So, co-owner of Coco Celebrations, a Sydney-based husband and wife duo specializing in capturing love stories with authenticity and emotion. Their work is nothing short of stunning, and their recent feature in Polka Dot Weddings is just the beginning of what's shaping up to be an incredible journey for them. With another feature in the works this year, Chuck and his wife have become true storytellers through their timeless imagery. Today, we're going to get all the insider tips on how to find the perfect wedding photographer and videographer for your big day, and why having both of them on the same team is an absolute game changer. Plus, Chuck will give us the lowdown on the latest trends in wedding videography and photography and share advice on how couples can get the most out of their wedding day as clients. So whether you're looking to immortalize your big day with stunning visuals or just want to hear some behind the scenes magic, you're in for an absolute treat. Chuck, welcome to the show. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, good, very good. Thank you for having me, Nathan.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure having you here in the show. We've actually not had the pleasure of working together, but funnily enough, we've keep catching each other at lots of different Sydney-based networking socials and vendor industry meet and greets and so forth, which is still just as important. It's still just as valid. So
Yeah.
I've got a really good sense of who you are. Although I must say, have I met your wife before?
I think so. I think she was in an Easy Wedding networking event the other
Of
night.
course. Do you mind reminding me in the audience what her name is as well?
Gwen, Gwen, is
Ah,
Gwendolyn for short, because she
gotcha.
got a
And
very long name.
that's no, Gwendolyn's not too bad. But
Yeah.
and so Chuck, are you the photographer and Gwen is the videographer? Have I got that the wrong way around?
Well, actually, I'm the photographer or the videographer, and she's
Oh.
basically the editor. Yeah. So if anyone
Ah.
any couple that watching our video and is crying, that is actually her fault.
that,
Yeah, because
that
she
makes
put all the
sense.
magics there. Yeah.
Just like, in every relationship behind every good man is a perfect woman. It's the same thing for you, right? But behind every photography and videography masterpiece is actually, your partner Gwen, who's taking care of everything in the background. So,
Yeah.
how long have you both been working together as this magic duo?
Well, for our business, actually, kind of new. We set it up late 2023. So this year is literally the second year that we are in the business. But before we set up our business, we actually worked for different studio for quite a long time. Like I think it's before COVID. So
Mm.
that's why we gathered enough experience and all the skills and stuff. And then on 2023, and we decided to set up our own business. And so far, it's actually going really well.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
congratulations. I mean, as I said at the start of the show, I see you all the time, and I think that's
Yeah.
a great note. It's a good thing. It's a testament to the fact that you're in touch with the industry and that you are out there meeting people, and
Yeah, absolutely.
and you got to be right. Otherwise, if you're a lone ranger in this kind of industry, particularly on the day itself when you're out there filming and photographing, nothing worse than, for me as an MC, as an example, than feeling as though that the photographer or the videographer isn't sort of in tune with what I'm trying to accomplish and what
Yeah.
every other person is trying to do there. So no, it's great. And then I think congratulations on moving away from the working for somebody phase and working for yourself phase. It's always a big
Yeah.
achievement. What was the thing that obviously you said you've been working with an agency for a long time, but what was the one thing that you said between you and your wife, Gwen, that, okay, we're going to do it. We're going to move away. We're not going to rely on someone else telling us what the gigs are. We're now going to make our own journey and our own pathway. What was the thing that really made it happen?
Well, it's actually very funny that at the very beginning, I didn't thought of setting up our own business. I was only thinking that I just move to a studio who pay us a little bit more. And that is all I'm thinking. But it's funny enough that sometime when I got some images, like photos or video, and I post it on Instagram or some other social media. And then people just love it. And they just like keep asking how much you're charging for weddings. And then after a certain period of time, and then we start taking those like a private job that we call, and
Mm.
we just like take it serious and set it our own business so we can properly take our own customer, and then we can look after themselves the way that we want. Because yeah, it's still quite a bit of the gap that like working for our own business and then compared to other studio. So we
Hmm.
want to look after our couple the way that we think is the best for them, and then we set it up our business. We named the business name as our dog, Coco.
Mm.
And yeah, yeah, that is how we started. But like once we started, and we found it's very hard, especially in terms of marketing and getting people to know you. You know, shooting a
Mm.
wedding is very easy for us because we've been doing this for years. But
Mm.
getting people to know you, getting people to hire you for their wedding is actually the hardest bit for us at the moment.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. I mean, at the end of the
Yeah,
day, as much as there are thousands of weddings that take place, particularly for us here in Sydney, where we're the biggest market. I mean, we're blessed by that. But then there's obviously the flip side to that coin is that there are also several other people more in any other market of people like you and I who are hoping to, book the weddings that are available here in the first place. So I think you've done a fantastic job, in your second year now, and I'm sure that you'll go from strength to strength to be able to use your expertise. And speaking of your expertise, Chuck, when it comes to finding the perfect wedding photographer and videographer, what would you consider to be some key factors that couples should really consider in choosing the right team for them?
okay, for the first thing is obviously their style, like the way they shoot their weddings, like their photos and video, and also if you like the color grade and all other stuff, all those technical things. But personally, what I'm thinking is that it's very important to see if you can really get along with the photographer himself, because
Mm.
he is actually the person who been in your wedding day for pretty much the whole day, and he's like standing right next to you. So
Mm.
what I'll suggest to all my couple is that at least you meet the photographer either on a video chat or in person, talk some with them, and see if you really get along with those with that particular persons. Otherwise, if you don't, yeah, you won't be having a very good experience during your wedding day. But if you do, it's not just about the photo. The whole day will make you like like a dream.
Oh, absolutely. No, you 100% correct. I think I've said this in previous episodes, so the listeners will definitely be able to resonate if they've listened to the last few episodes. But it's definitely I'm finding this year amongst every year, particularly as we continue to still weather the unique economic conditions that this particular season is facing so far. And so I think it's important that more than ever, couples do exactly what you described, actually meeting people that they would
Yeah,
like to book. It's one thing to book off the shelf. Like you wouldn't book a house off. Well, I guess some people do, but most people don't book houses off, realestate.com. They actually go to the open house. And I know that we're
yeah,
not houses and property, but we're actually, in fact, I would say even more special. We're human beings offering a service. And so
yeah,
if you're prepared to go for something that is also a big purchase, which is a home, then a wedding should also be considered a big purchase. And you should, get to know the people and the vibe that they're bringing to the table as well. So I think that's fantastic advice, particularly because there's so many choices in wedding and photography and
exactly.
videography. Now, Chuck, you and your wife run this team as we talked about before, and she's the brains and beauty behind it all. And you're out there taking the photo and the video. There's obviously I've worked many weddings where it's the same agency slash same company who is running both, and then so both photo video for the day. And then of course I've worked many where a couple's decided to split the photography service for another videography service, mostly because they've got two freelancers who only offer one service. So you offer both as Coco Celebrations.
Yeah.
What is, you would argue, the advantage and the overall improvement of the experience potentially for a couple if they opt to go with a all-in-one package like yours?
Well, for us, I think choosing the photographer and videographer team together is very important, and it actually elevate your experience, because the photographer and videographer, they always work together, they know each other, and then they have like a aligned style, and the way it works is so much smoother. So otherwise, let's say I've been to the wedding that like uh the couple hired different team, and their style was so different, some let's say for the photographer, they want the candy shot and they want a lot of movement. They want, or maybe do it in another way around. Is that the videographer, they want a lot of candy shot, I want a lot of movement shot, but the photographer will ask for a lot of pose shot, like the still shot. So the couple will feel like very struggling. So what exactly you want me to do? Do you want me to stand here or do you want me to walk in? So it's very hard, especially unless when you book with those people and you know exactly what they're gonna do, what exactly the style, and they match each other. But otherwise, yeah, going with the team that or that have both photographer and videographer service, it is so much easier, so much smoother. And another thing to concern is obviously the budget. So normally, if you book a team who offer both service, you get a package deal, which is a bit cheaper than you are booking with two separate teams. So that is the two concern. Yeah.
No, it's a great point. They're both fantastic points. I mean, again,
Yeah.
that vibe check, the misalignment of the goals from two different separate agencies or freelancers. And yeah, I mean, things get busy, particularly in the high season, say, for instance, September to November or December, where, it is hoped that photography and videography teams from separate companies or agencies will talk to each other, but sometimes it's not possible. And so you're right, that misalignment can play out somewhat disastrously on the day. But yeah, of course, you're 100% right about the budget too. So no, great points. Speaking now to something sort of more taking a bit of a step back, what are some of the biggest trends that you're seeing in the wedding photography and videography space right now for 2025? And how are couples sort of moving with these changes? Are they embracing them? Are they unsure about them? Or are there some real standout things that couples should you recommend do right now, do at your wedding? It's absolutely critical because it's going to make or break it.
Yeah, I think the biggest trend for the wedding, especially in photography and videography, is obviously there are more raw motion, raw moment, and all those things is actually kind of like against the textbook. By saying that, I mean like you can see now there was a lot of blurry photo, which couple love them, but when we learn photography, we actually are banned to do so. We are actually not allowed to take like all those blurry photo with very
Are you
slow
talking
shutter
about
speed.
blurry photos on the dance floor where you shake the camera a bit and everything looks blurry around them? Is that what you're talking about? Or what do you mean by the
That
blurred
was
photo?
that was one kind, which is like the dancing dance floor photo. Now it has been very popular. Everyone loved them because it really bring out a vibe that like everyone like getting excited doing the dance floor. The other way we do it is like doing the portrait session when we do when we do the couple shots. And then they're doing like the walking shot and stuff, or maybe we get them to slow dance a little bit. We deliberately slow down the shutter speed to make it look a little bit blurry, so you can tell they're actually moving. It actually brings out the vibe.
I
And
see.
all
Rather than
and
like
all
a
the
still
couple,
frame.
yeah,
Okay. Yes.
yeah, and all the couple love them. And especially sometime when I tune it into black and white, they just accept it. And
Yeah,
similar
I can totally
thing.
see how that'd be fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and similar thing will also apply to videography as well. So before, we always want like the perfectly stable shot, especially when moving. We have a very heavy gimbal to hold it to make sure that we got all the shot is nice and stable, buttery smooth. But now it actually changed a little bit that people love having a little bit of shaking. They love like the handheld video to get a little bit shaking to actually give a little bit of the raw motions. So which is like kind of, again, the textbook as well. Yeah, because by logically we think it's as stable as better. But now we actually want it the other way around to get it a little bit shaking to bring out all the raw emotions.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I think now that you've really put it all out there, you're sort of triggering what I've seen out there, and it sort of correlates exactly. And so understanding sort of that's becoming a trend that's really cool, and I can see the value into that too. I think
Yeah.
there is something nice about letting a still photo still look like it's got some movement, even though it doesn't, and it's able to sort of getting the next the current state and the next state all in one photo, which I think is really really cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
It is.
nice, very cool. And so, look, obviously, given that the whole process leading up to the day, Chuck, is obviously very stressful, and as much as, of course, people like myself like to, and you like to obviously come into the process and make it as seamless as possible, even in the planning stages, but they can often feel overwhelmed, and that can then obviously lead on to the day itself. They're not used to having a full day about themselves and all that. What advice would you give couples listening to us right now to ensure that they're feeling relaxed and able to enjoy the wedding while also, you're behind the lens, you've got it all covered? What kind of reassurance can you give to those couples out there that particularly are feeling like, that just things aren't going to go right, or all the what ifs are sort of swirling in their mind, particularly when it comes to, am I going to get all the photos that I want in time?
Well, I think the biggest advice that I'm going to give to the couple is just trust the vendors.
Mm,
Because, yeah, right now in the industry, most of the vendors, they're actually very good. And they've been to like hundreds of weddings. For the couples, I understand they're nervous because that is the first or maybe, second or third time. But for most of the vendors, they've been into like hundreds of weddings. They're so much more experienced than the couple themselves. So you hire them, you just trust them. And most important thing is just relax, You're the big
mm.
boss of the day. So even you are late, it's fine. Yeah, you're the boss. The wedding won't happen without the bride. I always
It's true.
tell the brides that you don't need to be rushed, The ceremony won't start without you. So you just relax,
Very
just do
true.
your things, just chill and put the best smile on your face. And even in a photography and videography's perspective, the more relaxed, the more you don't give a, the
Mm,
better photo that you have. It always happen like this. Yeah. For those for those black always thinking, do I have a wrinkle on my face, or how am I look like? Do I really look fat? They don't really get the best photos. But for those couple who really chill out, I don't worry about that. I don't care about that. I just want to go there to have fun with my husband, with my friends and
mm.
family. They always got the best photos.
Yeah, no, I think you're making a great point. Is that, sort of, and it's very similar to what I tell my couples as well. Is that 100%? I totally agree with you. I've said it on several other podcasts that I've been a guest on. That, and in written form, that the biggest advice I can ever give people is to leverage the vendors that you have. You've already trusted them once to book them. We're here on the day, and we're all going to be there for you. And so there is a sort of a unwritten understanding that we're all going to be exactly what you would hope for and so much more, because we all want a great day, and I've never met another vendor who's not wanted a couple to have a good day. And
Yeah,
so, I mean, at least not in like the
exactly.
170 weddings I've done. And so, yeah, I think you're 100% correct, and I think it's really really special. That I think it goes back to you said before about finding the person, particularly in a videographer or photographer, about whether or not the vibe works. If you're going to want, if you, as you said, they're going to be with you, you're going to be with them for a long period of time. And so it's really important that if you're looking for somebody who can be a support in that kind of way as well, and you don't feel uneasy by being around them for many hours, then definitely the kind of support that you mentioned, telling people it's going to be okay, they're not going to be at it, they're not going to start without you. I think that can definitely hope to go to a long way to relieve that pressure that they may be feeling on the day, because it's a lot. So, and you do such a
Yeah.
great job of being able to capture it all. And speaking of capturing it all, but one more question before I've got a couple of rapid fires for you, and we have to wrap it up. But Chuck, look, you obviously capture, a lot of personal and emotional moments, and that must come with its challenges. Can you share a moment that was either memorable or really emotional that you've captured as a photographer and a videographer, and sort of why that really stood out to you?
Ooh. That was a hard question that I was not prepared. Okay, well, I need to really think of that. Because
I'm
I've
going to
been
put
to
it this
like,
way. Is there a particular moment you had with a couple that really, you remember as saying, I am so glad that I am sitting here behind the camera right now because I'm feeling it. They're bringing the emotion and they're just a really standout, duo, or perhaps something really special that happened at a wedding itself with the guests, perhaps.
okay, yeah, I think of one moment that that was during the receptions, and actually the bridesmaid come tell me that the groom's brother couldn't be able to make it to the wedding, but
Mm,
they actually get the groom's brother to make a video, and it was a surprise. They're going to play on the receptions after their speeches.
mm.
So when that happened, the grooms and his mother was getting super emotional. They're like hugging each other, crying very, very bad, and because you can really tell the emotional connection was so deep. But unfortunately, his father was, I think, it's in Turkey or somewhere that couldn't make it to
Mm.
Australia because of visa or some other issues. So when the when his brother is like doing his speech on the video, saying that I wish you all the best, congratulations for all your weddings and stuff. Oh, they got so emotional, and I capture all their weddings like when the groom and his mother hugging each other crying. I think that was very powerful.
Yeah, that does actually. I can envision it myself. The way you're
Yeah,
describing it, uh, that is a really profound moment. I've certainly it reminds me of a number of other times where I've been able to orchestrate secret surprises like that, where someone wasn't able to show up, or there was a particular older party of the family that was surprised with a dance or something that they weren't expecting. So
yeah,
I do find it. I mean this in a nice way, but I find it funny and I do point it out sometimes when it's appropriate at certain weddings when this takes place. But I always find it funny that while everyone else is caught up in all these beautiful emotions, as you say, they're hugging, crying, kissing one another, and of course, really enjoying the moment. The one thing I find just a little bit funny on my side is as I'm standing back watching everything take place, the photographer and the videographer are just so zoomed in and locked in on all of that moment, and they're just so captured to make sure they get every little drop of tears that comes out of the eyes and everything. It's such a funny thing to watch on the
yeah.
outside, like
Like
it's
a
not that you
paparazzi.
yeah, it's not like you don't care about it. In fact, you care about it so much that
Yeah,
you want to capture it, but it also looks rather comical because if you were to do it in any other context, if you're just out on the street and someone starts getting really emotional, and sure, people do get their phones out and do things, but like if you were to sit there and someone else is happening in any other context and you're on the street, someone's crying their face off or they're having a beautiful moment, and you were to just sit there and get your phone out, people would be like, what is wrong with you? Like, are you okay? Like,
yeah,
get that phone out of my face, please. But at a wedding, and because you're the videographer and the photographer's like, oh, yes, of course. Yes, get every
yeah,
tear and every single drop to gravity from
yeah.
tear
And
duct
I'm
to the
paid to
ground.
do it.
Yeah, exactly. I just find it so hilarious. Well, Chuck, I appreciate you bringing some really interesting and great expert insights to the table. It's very clear that your time spent, learning the ropes in the agencies you worked a part of has now really lended you the skills of both of you, I should say, you and Gwen, the capabilities of being really successful what you do now. I'm going to ask you a couple more questions that you're not aware of. It's what we call a rapid fire segment at the end, and then of course I'd love to let people know the audience where we can find you online. So first off, I'd like to know, Chuck, uh, what is one question, just one question, could be funny, could be serious, that couples should ask when they're working with you?
So the couple should ask me, or I ask the
Yes,
couple.
one thing that the couple should ask you.
Ooh.
Stumped you.
Normally, yeah, normally that would be I asked the couple. Wow,
I know. This is why it's gotta flip it on its head a little bit. How about I put it this way? What is something that you would want a couple to know about, but it'd be difficult to bring up unless they specifically asked you?
I think it's the experience that, because it's very hard to tell a couple before they book us and know how they feel, how relaxed, how comfortable they feel on the wedding day before they work with us on the stage when they're like inquiry and talking to
Mm.
us. But that is what we are trying to let the couple know. So, uh, yeah, I really
So
don't know, but
basically, no, that's fine. That's a perfectly reasonable answer. So you're saying basically that you want people to, look past, not look past, but certainly not specifically only look at things like price and portfolio and things like that and awards or whatever else in between. They want to just say, "Hey Chuck, hey Gwen, like, tell me what is it like working with you? You really give me the truth."
yeah,
Yeah, I like that. I know.
yeah.
You're a human being too. I like that. That's a great answer. And Chuck, one last question. What is your why? Why do you get up out of bed every time, every day, either it be in your office doing admin or getting ready for a wedding? And of course, when the wedding takes place, why do you do it?
Well, I think it is really love or passion, or they call it. Uh, by saying love is that firstly, I love doing this job. I love doing photography. I love doing videography. And the second thing is this whole industry, like a whole wedding industry, is full of love.
Mm,
Is you can tell the love between the grooms and the bride, and you can tell the love between the family, like the father to son, mother
mm.
to daughters. It's all full of love, and even like ourselves, like between vendor, we have our love. So it's like a job. It's not like a job, but it's like things that we love, and that is why we are passionate. So yeah, so even like every single time after a wedding, I feel so tired because it was like 5, 10, 10 hours, but I still feel so happy just because I got a good wedding. They're so in love. I can tell from their body language they're so in love, and I'm so happy. I may probably um back up my photo and I start editing. So I still have those passion even after so many years. It's just because that
Mm.
I love being in the weddings, and
Well, I can
because
tell
also a
that for a
wedding
fact.
is so full of love.
Absolutely. I definitely, from the moments that I've met you in the past, and only just very recently, in fact, as of recording this, but also, how you portray yourself now, I definitely feel as though that not only myself, but our listeners are definitely getting that feeling from you. So you should be proud of that, the both of you, for retaining that love of it and allowing it to flourish even more so at every year and every wedding you do. Chuck, look, as how can people share the love with you and help you to experience more love in the wedding game? By potentially booking you, how can they find you?
Okay, there's a few different way. Obviously, the main one is our website, which is cococelebrations.com.au. So Coco is our dog's name. Do you want me to
Mhm.
bring her in?
Oh,
Give me one
you got
second.
the.
I bring
Oh,
Coco in.
okay, all right. This is a Justice Plans
Coco, Coco,
weddings first,
come on,
where
come
we're
on.
gonna actually have a dog. Normally, my cat tries to hijack the recordings, but I'm able to thwart him still. But this is
Yeah.
great. All right, where's
So
there
yeah,
is Coco.
yeah. This
If
is
you
Coco.
If you are only listening to this, you need to listen. You need to go back and watch the YouTube recording, at least towards the end here. Coco is adorable. Oh,
Yeah.
how old is
So
Coco?
she's turning 11 this year.
Oh, she's so full of life, even for an 11-year
Yeah,
old.
she is the dog that my wife had before she met me.
Oh wow.
So yeah, so we've been married for 8 years, and she's 11 now. Yeah, so
Oh, well, there
she's the
you
dog
go.
that. Yeah, so my wife know her before she knows me.
I'm sure
Yeah.
she loves you
So
both
yeah, that is
equally. So.
why yeah, we call Coco Celebrations. Coco was her, and then when we're thinking of our business name, we want something that really related to like weddings and happiness and all those
Mm.
things. And then we decided to call Coco Celebrations. It's a very long name, and many people think that we are celebrant, but no, we are not celebrant. We are a photographer and videographer.
No,
And
it's
then
great.
yeah, and the other way is obviously our Instagram. I
Mhm,
pretty much update every day.
mhm.
So it's also Coco Celebration underscore. course, the one without underscore being registered, and I tried to
Ah,
DM the other one, but they're just
yeah,
not responding me. Yeah, so
of
okay, I
course.
just put another underscore at the end. Yeah, that
Well,
is
thank you
two
so much for
mainly.
your
Yeah,
time. I really appreciate it, Chuck. It's been a pleasure talking with you, and thank you to Coco as well for making a last minute appearance. And I hope that not only do we get to work together very shortly, I also, more importantly, hope that you continue to stay enthusiastic, both of you, and that couples get to experience the joy of the love of storytelling that you have for the job itself. So, thank you for your time, and good luck at your next wedding.
yeah, sure. Thank you for having me, and looking forward to work with you.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Just As Planned Wedding podcast. Please like and subscribe to let me know that you want more videos just like this one. And of course, please follow us on our socials at Just As Planned Wedding on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube for more expert insights to help your wedding go just as planned.